What's up, y'all? It's Kikaya, and today, I feel like bitching. I didn't want to have to do this. I didn't want to. I wanted to get my recap video done, get my anime reviews done, and get ready for Persona 3 Reload that's happening in February. But I gotta start my 2024 off talking about some news that caused some drama in the anime community. I'm not happy to be here either. But I do feel like this is an important topic to talk about, not only because it relates to a long-lasting debate that has been going on in the anime community for a long time now, but it's also something that could change the anime industry as we know it forever. So I feel it's important, as someone who talks about anime publicly, I feel it's important to get my thoughts out there. And of course, when I'm talking about things that are rapidly changing in the world today, I am of course talking about artificial intelligence. More specifically, the use of AI to translate anime/manga. But if you're a little bit more disconnected from the online anime community and you have no idea why I'm talking about this topic now, let me briefly run down the situation for you. So basically, popular anime/manga, Ancient Magus Bride, recently announced that they would be using an artificial intelligence translator to officially translate their manga for a national audience. This caused a bit of a spark on Twitter, and by a bit of a spark, I mean the kind of spark that would set a house on fire. I want to talk about the announcement that the official Ancient Magus Bride, I'm sorry I'm laughing, this is just so wild to me that they made an announcement on their official Twitter page. I want to get to the Twitter announcement that they made, and I want to give some context to people who might be a little more confused on what they mean by AI translator, and I want to make sure that the reasoning gets out there because I want to make sure y'all get in the proper context here. And here we are. Wow, jump cuts are amazing, aren't they? Before I get into this firstly announcement, which kind of explains what the actual AI assisted translator is, I want to talk about this first, which is their reasoning as to why they're doing this. They talk about piracy and how, they're losing money. I'm kind of 50-50 on whether that's an actual reason. I really don't think piracy is affecting their sales as much as people say it does. And two, why would people be convinced to go to AI knowing that AI is rather newer? Yes, AI will grow into the future, but we don't know when that's going to happen. Why would that convince someone who otherwise wasn't buying the product anyway? Because most piracy users aren't people who left. Piracy people are people who've been pirating. They're not just gonna stop because you announced AI translations. So now that I kind of explained why I think that's kind of a reason, I'm gonna go to this website here, which kind of explains what Mantra is all about. This is their official website, which is now on the archive page for some reason. Please remember, I'm not going to do any huge deep dive on this or anything. This is literally the page that they showed. So it talks about what Mantra is and why you would use it, which I think this is a more plausible reason as to why they switch to AI. I'm not entirely sure how fast or how expensive translators are, but if that is a legit problem, then AI would be able to solve that. Especially with the AI that they're talking about here. Which, if you go to this video that's on the website about how Mantra works and what the process is, it kind of goes into what you would do step by step. And I'm not going to watch the whole video, y'all. I'll link this in the description if you want to know. But essentially, it's not like they're putting in manga and then putting it into an engine and then just leaving it alone. It has an editing software in it so that you can edit the words that it automatically translates, and it has community notes on it. So you can leave comments to people and be like, hey, I changed this line for whatever reason, or stuff like that. So it's not a complete AI translator as much as it is, as they say, an AI assistant. It's going to translate the anime, but if it does leave mistakes, the idea is that you have someone manually go over and change those mistakes so that you get a much more fluent, quick process. But they even say in the announcement, by the way, that they're going to be using the technology with the editing and proofreading by professional translators. It's not like they're just completely getting rid of translators altogether, but this can set a precedent if Ancient Magus St. Brides does well. There is a chance that someone would be able to just ignore the proofreading professional translators thing altogether and straight up put it in the system, release it as is. That's possible. I'm not entirely sure how Mantra would be able to combat that, because it doesn't ever say. It mostly just goes through the process on how it would actually work. And by the way, this came out 3 years ago, so this would be something known. So it's not like this sudden new AI. This has been something that's been developed for 3 years and something that is expected to be used by professional comic books and mangakas. So now that I talked about the actual translation machine that Ancient Magus St. Bride will be using and the proper context, I want to talk about some of the responses that were being given by translators and other people as a whole, because I'm not a huge fan at how they responded to this. They responded very defensively and very lacking in self-awareness, and overall just kind of in a rude tone to the people that they're supposed to be translating for, which I completely understand why they would take a defensive position on this. I mean, if there was a sudden announcement that there was going to be AI anime YouTubers, I'd be like, whoa, fuck that shit. Some people have said, like the translator for your boy Kongming said that you can actually get translators for quickly, but not sure how true that is. I'm not in the community. There was one person in particular who was the most vocal out of the translators who responded to this statement, and that would be Katarina L. I apologize for not knowing your name, but she was by far the most vocal person to speak up against this AI translations, and she comes across as someone who is lacking in self-awareness. But I do think it's funny that they're the person that's speaking out the most about this, because I remembered there being something about her purposely mistranslating Inukai-san's dog because she found it personally offensive to her. And I'm only using Katarina as an example as to why anime fans, or some anime fans out there, aren't big fans of translators at the moment and would actually prefer AI. Most recently, on her work on Inukai-san's dog, had her saying words such as mommy milkies, the yeeted line, like a bunch of stuff that straight up did not belong. And then when she was confronted about this, she straight up admitted that she was not sorry for what she did, and that she did it because she didn't agree with the show at all, and didn't like the job, and purposely mistranslated it. Now, as someone who has made an entire video on Inukai-san's dog, as well as read the manga up to date, I can attest that Inukai-san's dog is a weird-ass anime. That does not give you the right to completely sabotage the translation for the anime adaptation, because quite frankly, that's not your place, and I do think that is super disrespectful to basically shit on a product just because you don't agree with it. At the end of the day, as a translator, you have a job, and that job is to translate the anime as accurately as possible. I can work at Amazon, and despite me disagreeing with Jeff Bezos' practices, that doesn't give me the right to destroy a box. I don't even need to use the Amazon example. I did it myself when I reviewed Inukai-san's dog, as well as a bunch of other weird anime that I've reviewed. Not because I enjoyed it, but because I thought they were interesting to talk about and also funny. But just because I disagree with those shows on a personal level, that doesn't mean that gives me the right to completely sabotage the opinion of them. I still have to review them fairly. It's not meant to completely get sabotaged just because you don't agree with it. That is what we call abusing your power as a translator. And that's not the only time that's happened. It's become such a widespread problem in the anime community that big streamers such as Asmongold are talking about it on their streams and watching Rev Says Desu, which seems like something out of a paradox. But my point being that translators mistranslating something on purpose and then willingly admitting it to online public has happened. It's not uncommon for it to happen. Dark Gathering just had this exact same problem, and that show released 2 seasons ago. Like, there's history as to why people prefer artificial intelligence over human translators. That's why I say that these translators who are so defensive against this are lacking in self-awareness. Because the whole reason that people see artificial intelligence as an improvement to what they're doing is because they've created such a negative reception around them. Through years of mistranslating things, of having words in there that don't belong, having all this stuff that just doesn't belong in the anime, they've now created this cloud around them that some anime fans are tired of. And to those anime fans, having an AI do all that would be better because at least the AI isn't going to knowingly and willingly throw lines into the anime that don't belong. Translators are basically the exact same thing as what the 4Kids people were, only 4Kids used to be kind of funny with it. They're just spouting off political nonsense that, quite frankly, isn't relevant to the anime. And if it's not political, or if it's not something about lolicons being pedophiles, it's any kind of internet slang you can think of. At the same time, I don't think AI is at the place it's at right now to where you can trust it to translate anime. And my example that I'm going to use for this is the Yuzuki Brothers first episode. It never confirmed that it used artificial intelligence in that first episode, but I just cannot see a human making the mistakes that it did. And it does show a reality of AI starting to translate anime and what that would be like without any kind of human supervision. And this is entirely on Crunchyroll, and I do think this was super disrespectful on Crunchyroll's part. Not only because they have a history of not paying translators, and this seems like a way to get out of that rather than just paying them, but it also is super disrespectful to the creator of the Yuzuki Brothers anime. And it's a good show. It's a very good show. It's a very relaxing, wholesome anime, but you get taken out of it because the translations in that episode are so bad. They called Hayato Brother Falcon once. And wow, yes, that is super funny. Dog, that's bad. So what's my ending point that I wanted to end this video on? And my whole opinion on this as a whole. I don't know where Japan is at right now with AI, but from where we're at, I can't have a positive opinion on artificial intelligence translating anime. Because not only will this cause countless lost jobs, which I'm not that big of an asshole to cheer on people losing jobs. And two, because I don't think AI is at the point yet where it can properly translate anime in the way we want it to. We're probably going to get something at least closely bad to the Yuzuki Brothers anime, which was absolutely terrible and was probably the worst translation I've ever seen. Now, am I a little bit more positive to it, finding out that it's AI assisted? Yes, but will that lead to a situation where the anime creator will completely ignore the manual edited section of Mantra and just straight up release it as is? Or will this lead to another AI getting used where it doesn't have any manual edits in it? That I don't know, but I'd imagine that's where we're going to head in the future. Truthfully, none of us know when AI is going to get better. An uncertainty that I'm kind of scared of. But at the same time, I do want translations to change. I want more accurate translations. I don't want to have to worry about an anime that I like getting a forceful political ideology in it, or translators purposely mistranslating words because they don't like the subjects, or just straight up being cringe. Like, some human translations are just cringe. And I do think that's putting words into the anime creator's mouth that they did not want to have. And that can cause unnecessary problems for them. And any problems that are unnecessary that we cause, I'd rather get rid of entirely. So what my point is that both are bad. The solution I think we're going to want as a community is to just make the translations better. Get people who actually love to translate anime and do it out of love and motivation for the show. Fan subs! Y'all remember fan subs? No one complained about fan subs. Everybody loved fan subs because while they weren't perfect, you could tell that they loved the show. It feels so good to watch an anime from way back, from like 2007 or 6, or even way back in the 90s, and seeing those old translation notes, seeing colors getting used in translations, seeing unique fonts getting used in translations, like, that stuff adds to the experience for me. And I'm kind of sad that fan subs are getting replaced by people who might not care about the anime as much and are only doing it for other reasons. Really, deep down, the cause of this debate is just from people who want better for the anime community. They want to see the best possible translations we can. The people who are going to do that are the people who love the show and nothing else. As proven by how little people have complained about fan subs despite how long it's been. Despite how amateurish they may feel. I haven't seen anybody besides translators complain about fan subs. I try to find the healthy middle ground and the deep reason as to why people are fighting to begin with. Translators feel that their job is on the line, and anime fans just want better translations. I feel like translators need to be a lot less defensive and a lot more self-aware of why people do feel the way they feel about this, as I feel like that will create a more healthier debate here. And I do feel like that the anime fans need to understand that AI is not ready to take on translations yet. And judging from how AI has done other mediums, it's just not ready for that kind of thing yet, and I do feel like it needs more time. I hope I did my job in this video. I hope I gave my reasons well, and I hope I said something in this video that might have helped you in this way. Recap videos coming out soon. I got a bunch of reviews coming down the pike. If nothing comes out in February, it's because I'm playing Persona 3 Reload. I'm Kikaya, and peace.